Picture a small glass case. Inside it rests a simple tuning fork, worn, darkened, silent. It once belonged to Ludwig van Beethoven. Its frequency, 455.4 Hertz. Not 440, not 332. A pitch no living musician uses today. Every piano, every orchestra, every concert hall on Earth now follows a standard Beethoven himself never heard. His tuning fork survives behind glass, a relic of a sound the modern world abandoned. And that is where the story begins. Beethoven's pitch wasn't strange, it was normal for his world. What we call standard today would have sounded flat, lifeless, and wrong to him. Because our standard pitch was not discovered, it was chosen. And everything before it, the local frequencies, the living musical identities of entire regions, was physically erased. If you saw my earlier video about the hundreds of thousands of bells destroyed over 3 centuries, you already know what happened. This video is not about the metal that vanished. It is about the sound those bells carried, the exact frequencies crafted by families of bell founders, passed down from father to son for generations. Those sounds are gone. Before 1711, before tuning forks existed, before electronic references, there was no universal pitch. Every community tuned its instruments to whatever the largest local instrument produced, usually the church organ. And organs varied wildly. 2 churches in the same city could differ by an entire semitone. A musician traveling from Paris to Vienna had to retune everything upon arrival. This wasn't chaos. This was the natural world of sound. Every place had its own voice. The bell in your village rang at a pitch unique to your village. The cathedral organ was tuned to the stone and space of that cathedral. The choir followed the organ. The people followed the choir. An entire acoustic ecosystem, a frequency that belonged only to that place. We have hard proof of how wildly pitch varied. A Handel tuning fork from 1740 vibrates at 422.5 Hertz. A fork from 1780 sits at 409. Beethoven's hits 455.4. A 46 Hertz spread in just 60 years among Europe's most central musicians. French cathedral organs in the 1800s tuned their A into the 370s. London's Royal Philharmonic swung from 433 to 455 between the 1820s and 1850s. There was no natural standard. There were hundreds of them. Then governments intervened. On February 16, 1859, the French government declared by law, not suggestion, that A must equal 435 Hertz. This diapason normal was the first time in history a state legislated musical pitch. The law spread. By 1885, 435 was adopted across much of Europe. Sound was being centralized. In 1884, Giuseppe Verdi supported 435, but added something extraordinary. If mathematical considerations required lowering the pitch to 432, he would support it gladly. Italy listened. For 1 year, Italy officially tuned to 432 Hertz, by decree of the War Ministry, not musicians. Then the 1885 Vienna Conference, dominated by British delegates, overruled it. Italy dropped 432. No vote, no consultation, just erased. And then we reach 1939, the famous London Conference many people falsely blame on Nazi propaganda. But the Goebbels story collapses instantly. The meeting was run by the British Standards Institute. Multiple nations were represented. 440 Hertz became the preferred reference, not through conspiracy, but through slow global standardization. But the real story isn't about politics, it's about destruction. Across 3 centuries, Europe melted its bells, the very instruments that held its local frequencies. Peter the Great seized 100,000. The French Revolution destroyed 80% of France's bells. Germany lost nearly half in World War I. The Soviet decree of 1929 melted nearly 99% of Russia's 1 million bells. World War II removed over 175,000 more. Added up, at least 425,000 precision-tuned bells eliminated, each with its own pitch, each the tuning reference for a community. When the bells melted, the frequencies melted with them, and the buildings built for those frequencies, the cathedrals, basilicas, Orthodox domes, still stand. Medieval architects embedded acoustic vases inside walls. Limestone slabs were chosen for their resonance. Byzantine churches amplify tone for seconds at a time. These buildings were instruments, immense stone resonators designed for specific frequencies now gone. Today, only the buildings remember. The stone, the chambers, the buried amphora, all tuned to pitches the modern world chose to forget.